joining us here at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Remote Duel Invitational. 3 rounds of Swiss are already done, and are moving on to the 4th and final round of Swiss before we're going to cut to the top 4 players. This is how the players did round 3.
Table 1 with Rafael defeating Oscar V. Table 2, Alejandro Garcia advances, having won 3-2 against Francisco R. There's only 2 other clean sweeps at tables 6 and 7, and some close matches at the remaining tables.
Yeah, it's certainly been an exciting day so far, and now we're finally at our last round of Swiss. We've seen a lot of decks, a lot of the same decks, a lot of Black Wings, and we also see a lot of different decks, a lot of Elemental Saber Invoked, a lot of Alistair, but for our Swiss round 4, we have Renan Sparrow versus Javier R. So Javier needs to win this to have a chance to make the top 4. He has 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 draw, but if he's able to win, that'll put him in a decent position to maybe nab that 4th place slot.
And what a deck for Javier to put his faith in this final round. He is using Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yes, finally, my favorite deck. Not only in Duel Links, but one of my favorite decks I've ever gotten the pleasure of playing in the TCG. I'm excited to see it, and his opponent, Renan Sparrow, who most of you probably are familiar with, is also going to be using the Invoked Neos deck. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. I'm excited to see how it's going to play out.
Yeah, Javier is also interestingly using the alternative evolution skill, allowing him to transform a Blue Eyes White Dragon into a Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon.
Yeah, Blue Eyes Alternative, so powerful. It's basically the Blue Eyes Dragon, you summon it for free with an effect. But here we go, the duelists are ready. Round 4, the final round of Swiss for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Remote Duel. Duel Links Invitational is underway. Alright, and it looks like Renan is going first with Invoked Neos, so let's see if we have a summon of... Nope, not Alistair, but Keeper of Dragon Magic. He's going to discard Bacon Saver. That's a good card you want to discard. It'll be able to banish itself to protect you from an attack during your opponent's turn.
The effect allows him to get Neos Fusion from his deck, which he can now activate to summon Brave Neos, which he can also protect using Neos Fusion.
Yeah, it's a really strong starter. Yeah, discarding that Bacon Saver is huge. Just having that extra block, because you not only can negate an attack, the Neos Fusion protects your Brave Neos from dying on top of that. So it's like you have layers of protection now for your monster. And he gets to send the shell too. Just feel like.
Interestingly, Renan uses only 2 copies of Volcanic Shell in his deck because he can send them back with Switcheroo.
Smart thinking. So less chance of opening up with it, but less chance of drawing multiple copies of a card that could potentially be dead. I like that deck building. So here we go. Draw for Javier. What's he got with the Blue Eyes? Also have a Keeper of Dragon Magic. Oh, it looks like he's not going to be playing Blue Eyes. I'm assuming it's a mirror match, actually, it looks like. Looks like maybe we got the deck list from earlier in the previous round, and he decided to start this round with an Invoked Neos deck. So I'm a little sad because it isn't the Blue Eyes deck I was expecting, but it is a Bandit Keith mirror match, so Invoked Neos it is. So going second, getting his Keeper Dragon Magic Phoenix Chain is pretty devastating, but he'll still be able to add that shell to his hand.
I was also looking forward to Blue Eyes, but with duelists able to use whatever deck and whatever cards they want in each duel of the tournament, he's free to play Invoke Neos instead if he wants.
Yeah, that's alright. There's a lot on the line here. He knows he has to win to even have a shot at making the top 4, so he's going to pick the deck that he feels like gives him the best opportunity. But going second in the mirror match, I feel like that's pretty devastating. Just because he was able to sprint in. Yeah, super brutal. And wow, not only do you have the Keeper of Dragon Magic to get the fusion, he has an Alistair for the follow-up to get the invocation. Ultimate Providence, though, is going to stop that Alistair's effect. Negate, discarding that Volcanic Shell that he had to do his hand. So he no longer has the extra shell in his hand to switcheroo next turn.
If he already has the invocation, though, the duel is over.
Does he have a copy of Invocation? Nope. Oh, Keeper of Dragon Magic to be able to search for another Neos Fusion, though. Oh no, it's just going to set the Alistair for down.
Usually you see that card set Elemental Hero Neos.
Right.
Less common to see it set Alistair by revealing one of the Invoke fusions, but that works just as well.
Yeah, because Alistair, it's not only when he's normal summoned or special summoned, it also searches for invocation anytime he's flipped face up. So a lot of utility here. Renan's trying to decide what he wants to do here. Gonna go to battle phase. Hit him for 2,600 total, which could end up dropping Javier down to 900. Looks like he decides to go... I wonder why he decided to do it that way and get them both off the field. I guess he wants to leave one of his monster zones open for a particular reason.
I assume he wants to make himself less vulnerable to Purgatrio, maybe? Oh, he has lethal damage with Alistair the Invoker gaining 1,000 attack points.
Oh, okay. I guess it's just to play around Sheer Karibo a little bit better. Like, that makes sense. Because you'd have to go attack over it, Alistair pump, and then he'd still have to have the direct attack for it to be game. So I guess it makes sense to play around. But Renan's going to take that game one pretty decisively, going first in that mirror match.
Yeah, that was an interesting last play, actually. I think you're right. It was probably to play around Spirit Karibo. But don't you think his opponent would Spirit Karibo the Brave Neos anyway? Maybe in anticipation of Alistair?
Yeah, it would definitely have to be something he would have to think about in advance, but maybe on the off chance that he would catch him off guard. Like, those little things could make the difference in winning or losing. But I would definitely, if my opponent did that attack where they took both the monsters off, when they have the bigger one where it's going to be the same amount of damage, I would definitely take him in to think about it and be like, wait, why did they do that exactly? You just kind of try to figure out the thought process, and then that's how you can determine maybe what cards your opponent has in your hands. So like you said, they would probably end up coming to that conclusion that they would want to see your Karibo, even though they were trying to be a little cheeky with their plays there. Yeah,
it's pretty suspicious, since Brave Neos also has an effect that searches the deck for Neos Fusion when it destroys a monster in battle. So.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty suspicious. Sometimes your opponent, suspicious is a good word. If your opponents are being suspicious, be wary of it. A lot of people, sometimes you have the players that just do things. They don't actually, they just kind of go with the flow. So you got to watch out for that. But I do hope that since Javier did lose his game one in the mirror match, I want to see him switch to the Blue Eyes deck that we thought he was originally gonna start with. I was so excited to see Blue Eyes. Like, we both took a second of the game and realized, like, oh, he's not gonna use his Blue Eyes deck. He's using this Invoke deck. We're like, dang. I was so hyped for it. I just want to see Alternative Dragon. Blue Eyes Alternative is one of the coolest Yu-Gi-Oh cards of all time. And Duel Links, a 3,000 monster, you just special summon from your hand, pop a monster. Like, what else can you ask for?
It's awesome. And if you use a Prismatic Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is pretty easy to get in Duel Links, you can turn it into a Prismatic Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon with the skill.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. Just a shiny. I really hope we do get to see the Blue Eyes switch. What about Renan? I don't see why he would ever switch. The game was clear cut. He played it well. I would stick with the same deck. I don't see any reason to switch things up. Maybe, is there any card that you might want to put in from possibly the mirror match? I don't think so, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Nothing really sure. Maybe like Artifact Lancia if he's really expecting the Invoke deck to remain on the other side of the table. Because Lancia is obviously an awesome chain against Invocation because it prevents banishing from the graveyard, so it basically hard counters it and sometimes even forces your opponent into an awkward play that horrifically backfires and decimates their field. Again...
If you chain that Lancia, like, you're not only putting that Invocation in their grave, you're keeping that Alistair not banished, so yeah, you're completely shutting them off, as you're saying.
Yeah. But again, you're really counting on them not switching their deck, because if they switch it to something like Black Wings, you're going to regret having Lancia. Very likely.
Yeah.
Stuff like
we saw that,
stuff like that, but you don't want to.
Yeah, we saw that earlier in the day where a player switched decks and had a Lancia in their main deck, and against the Black player activated 2 Whirlwinds, and they threw Lancia away, and then, okay, continue your turn now. It's kind of hard to switch into a tech card when you can switch to any deck you want. But it does look like Javier is going to be sticking with the Invoke Neos deck, but adding a lot more traps to his deck. So side decking, if I could use for lack of a better term, and that's what he's trying to do, is change the style of his deck, more defensive. And it looks like Renan is also going to stick with his Invoke Neos, which I am not surprised. Like I said earlier throughout the tournament, if I win a game with a deck, you have to prove to me that you can beat it before I'm switching. But here we go. Game 2 is starting. And it looks like Renan is going first again. Let's see if he'll start with another Keeper of the Dragon Magic, maybe followed up by a Fiendish Chain and a Brave Neos.
That would be an awesome start if he could do it again.
Here it goes. Keeper of Dragon Magic, discard Alistair. Not as good as the Bacon Sabers last time. But
having to discard Alistair, though, is probably a pretty strong tell that Renan's hand is really good.
At least if it doesn't tell you that he has another Alistair in his hand, I don't know. Oh no, you discard the Alistair to summon it back, so it's perfect. Yeah, this is insane. This is the ideal opening. He gets the fusion. He gets to set up to get the invocation the following turn. This is what you want going first with this deck. And he's going to probably be able to put... Let's see what he decides to put in his graveyard. The Shell.
Yeah, I assume he's going to put the Shell in the graveyard. But he might opt for the Bacon Saber.
True. Just get another layer of protection. Neos from his hand. And I couldn't see what the other card was. Oh, just Bacon Saber. Yeah, if he did go for the Bacon Saber, just have another layer of protection.
It's interesting. He did have the option of summoning Elemental Hero Neos instead of Alistair, had he done that chain of plays a little differently. But I agree that Alistair is the better play here, so that explains why.
Right. Trying to set up to have a follow-up on the following turn while he builds up a board to perhaps stay alive, since he doesn't have that Fiendish Chain this time. And Javier coming down with the Keeper of Dragon Magic as well. One of the strongest normal summons in Duel Links.
He discards Neos to get Neos Fusion, so we're probably going to see him use Keeper of Dragon Magic to special summon the Neos rather than an Alistair.
Yep. And yep, here he goes. The Neos coming to the field face down. And then I was imagining we're going to see a Neos Fusion. Yep. Going to make his own Brave Neos. He's a Renan, he has to navigate through a Bacon Saber, the Neos protecting his monster from being destroyed once, and the Alistair that's going to net him an invocation for the next turn.
I'm actually a little bit suspicious that Renan may have a second Alistair in his hand, which would also explain why he discarded an Alistair, because then he would have had no other option.
Right, and even just having another Alistair would be pretty good, because you'll get the invocation, and having two Alistairs in your hand with an invoke monster on the field is pretty solid. You can get really beefy really fast. So let's see how he sets 3 cards to his back row, knowing that Renan is going to try and have a follow-up with an invocation, trying to be prepared.
Brave Neos attacks into Keeper of Dragon Magic. The attack I was expecting last game, so he gets to use Brave Neos' attack effect to add another copy of Neos Fusion.
Yep, Brave Neos just keeps on giving. I'm surprised, well, I guess, yeah, he doesn't want to negate that because he would just attack over the Alistair, maybe. So he's just saving the Bacon Saber for later. Resource management, very important here.
He's obviously not going to bounce off the Alistair by attacking with Keeper of Dragon Magic, because that would just allow its effect to activate and render him unable to even use Fiendish Chain to stop it.
Yeah, I was more so looking along the line. Oh, he has Chain Disappearance for Alistair. That's huge if he doesn't have a way to get Invocation into the graveyard.
Oh!
It's going to take it out of his hand. You were right. There was another Alistair in the hand. And the Chain Disappearance is devastating.
Wow, yeah, his series of plays actually led me to believe he may have had a second Alistair in his hand. But that is extraordinary, because he must have put that card in thinking my opponent is still going to be playing elements, some invoked deck with Alistair, because that's what that card is so good against, and he was right. It was a huge gamble, because Chain Disappearance will do nothing against a lot of decks, and it was brutal here.
It was brutal, because he's left with a dead Invocation, the Karma Cut's going to banish the Brave Neos, and Renan essentially has nothing after Javier's opening. What a well-navigated play here from Javier, and well-side-decked Chain Disappearance. Pay 500 for that Shell. He's going to be able to basically draw a card for free. That's not Volcanic Shell, because he's going to send it back into his deck. Switcheroo has been a mainstay dual skill from the beginning in Duel Links.
Yeah, it remains good now. He uses Keeper of Dragon Magic's effect to reveal Brave Neos and special summon Neos, Elemental Hero Neos. That Karma Cut was huge also, because it got around the Neos Fusion in the graveyard that would have otherwise protected the Brave Neos from destruction. This is very quickly just going downhill for Renan.
It really is. Let's see if Javier really wants to even the series out, because if he's able to somehow win this round, he will have a chance at making the top 4 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Remote Duel Invitational. Let's see, Neos Fusion looks like he's just going to fuse with the face down Neos on his field.
I'm definitely expecting that.
Back, thanks to the Keeper of the Dragon magic. And yep, another Brave Neos with 2 Neos Fusions to protect him in the graveyard. The only thing that's going to save Renan at this point is Wall of Disruption. I'm telling you, Wall of Disruption, man, it is a mainstay in Duel Links. It will never stop. Bacon Saber's going to block one of these attacks, so he's going to need more than just that.
He needs that trap card to be relevant, or he needs a Kite Ruid or a Sphere Creebo in his hand. I haven't actually seen Kite Ruid this weekend. It's weird because it's a very popular card.
It is, yeah. I saw it on a couple deck lists, but yeah, I haven't seen it come into play or in any action lately. Maybe a lot of players were expecting like Witchcrafters and stuff and like control kind of decks, so they didn't really want to use it, but all we've seen are a lot of beatdown decks so far. Karmaket going to come down to banish the Brave Neos, but leave him with no cards, no Alistairs in deck to top deck. Oh, nope, Ultimate Providence is going to stop it. And everything coming down here for Javier to easily take game 2 and even the series 1-1.
Javier even had the trap card in his hand that he needed to activate Ultimate Providence against Karmaket.
Yeah, you know he was having to feel good. He was able to set up a board and then set 3 very good, very live trap cards that he was able to use all of them to navigate the duel to victory so easily. And now it's tied up.
That chain disappearance was not on my list of things I was expecting to see this weekend, but it was brutal there. It tore the whole deck apart by removing it.
It really, yeah. As long as you're able to get that chain disappearance up before they can put an invocation in the graveyard, the invocation's just dead. It's stuck in their hand. They can't do anything. But maybe like if you were able to chain disappearance and then he had a Keeper of Dragon magic to discard. Do you discard a monster with the dragon? I don't think so. You discard a spell, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure you discard a spell. But either way, he would have to find a way to discard to get that invocation in the graveyard to have any chance of coming back. But that was not the case. It was just complete destruction and devastation. Which is funny because we saw a mirror match in the first round, and I guess the difference was drawing Fiendish Chain versus not drawing any trap cards. Because he wasn't able to disrupt anything that Javier was trying to do.
Yeah, the Fiendish Chain in the first duel was crucial.
Yep, this is the 4th round of Swiss, so everything is on the line here. If Javier somehow manages to win these 2 games coming up, he will have a chance to make that top 4 playoff. And then we'll have the semifinals and finals before we crown one grand champion.
We'll see. I'm still hoping Javier switches back to his Blue Eyes deck.
Yeah, after winning with that, I think he's going to rock the same deck all 3 games, but hopefully he wins the next game with Invoke Neos and he's up 2-1 and feels like he has like a comfortable game to give, and then he'll switch to Blue Eyes and just go second and just summon all his Blue Eyes and the other destruction. And just all the cards are so good. Whitestone and Ancients, I'm so excited to see it come down. Please, please, please let him switch to Blue Eyes. But we're waiting right now to see if they are going to switch decks, what they're going to go with. There's a lot on the line here. You know, this is the last round of Swiss.
Now might be a good time to show off these new items. They are Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links chips that you can get at your local OTS. Just ask them about your hosting Duel Links remote duels. Konami will send these to your local official tournament store, and you can have tournaments remotely and win these as prizes. We've got Yami Yugi, Taya, and Joey Wheeler from the first series, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. And we have Jesse Anderson, Jaden Yuki from GX. And the third is actually Kaiba. The fourth is actually Kaiba from the original series. 4 from the original series, 2 from GX. For the first season, you will be able to get Taya or Yami Yugi. Just ask your local official tournament store about hosting remote duel tournaments for Duel Links, and you will be able to win your own.
Yeah, the remote duels is a really cool way to still play Yu-Gi-Oh from your home and support your local OTS stores that really need your help right now. You get to play in Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. You don't have to go anywhere. Just do your own remote duel, and they're for prizes. Actual tournaments against actual duelists for actual prizes. It's definitely something you want to check out and be a part of. And it looks like Game 2 is underway, and instead of Javier running the Blue Eyes, it looks like Renan switched to Blue Eyes, maybe. So either way, we do get to see a Blue Eyes deck in action, which is I am super excited about. Yes, and it is the Dark Side Dimension Kaiba, as you were saying earlier. Hopefully we get to see an alternative, Blue Eyes alternative dragon come down.
Did you catch which skill he chose to use? Was it, well, he only has 6 cards in his extra deck, so it looks like it was probably the alternative evolution skill. But Ultimate Dragons is also sometimes Dark Side Dimension Kaiba, but you would know because there would be the extra
card in that extra deck, maybe 7 instead of 6.
I believe it's 8. I think you also get the Neo Ultimate there, even though that's already in Duel Links, so it's not a big deal.
Okay, so kind of get to know that he's probably just using the alternative skill, and then just a direct attack here from the Element Saber and Molu for 19. Definitely not the open you want to see for Blue Eyes. Just 2 back row face down, no White Stone of Ancients to set, no Sage of the Eyes of Blue. If there's only 20 cards in your deck, you'd think it wouldn't be that hard to open up with Sage and Stone of the Ancients, but sometimes it's asking for too much.
Yeah, I mean, I play Blue Eyes a lot, and I will tell you, it is not that much to ask for to open with White Stone of Ancients and with Eyes of Blue, so I'm a little surprised he didn't get either of them.
Yeah, I mean, just having them both together is so awesome, just being able to put the guy in your graveyard for later, bring out Blue Eyes from your deck, but only back rows and face down monsters here, a couple of Molus, 1900, going to attack the face down Stone of the Ancients, which is going to let him summon a Dragon Spirit of White during the end phase to banish Javier's back row.
That's
he only has
awesome
200 life. Yeah, it could be huge. And
White Stone of Ancients, if there's a Blue Eyes White Dragon in Renan's hand, he can also banish the White Stone of Ancients for summon Blue Eyes White Dragon from his hand to get 2 attacks and destroy both of the Malahus, or in chain against the Malahus effect. So even though he only has 200 life points, I like where he's at.
Yeah, Dragon Spirit of White is so strong. Gonna banish that back row. Let's see if we have a chain here. Maybe a Fiendish Chain. Nope. Ooh, it's even better. It's bad aim. Something that can actually destroy something. He can target the Dragon Spirit of White, but he's going to go to the back row because he doesn't.
He cannot target Dragon Spirit of White because that's the effect that was activated.
Oh, yeah. Only can target anything, but yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that crap card has bad aim. It always misses the card. It always misses the card whose effect is activated.
Yeah, I love it when the card's names like kind of have something to do with their effects. Some cool little lore interaction. I always like that. But it is Dragon Spirit White is a huge monster facing down 2 weaker monsters, but Javier can have an Alistair draw that can turn things around for him.
We'll see if he makes it there. Renan does have to be careful though, because with only 200 life points left, if he summons a tuner and it gets stuck in attack position, he could lose.
Very, very true. Alright, let's see what he decides to do with this. Adds Stone of Ancients to his hand with the Sage's effect. And then, yeah, he's going to use the Mola's effect to put the Sage face down. So he won't be able to Synchro Summon for Spirit.
Are you a little surprised he put the Sage down instead of the Dragon Spirit? So a Dragon Spirit of White challenging Renan to use this effect to summon Blue Eyes from his hand if he has it? Because leaving the 0 attack position monster, I think, is one of his best paths to victory right now. Because Javier looks like he's behind.
Right. What is the trade-off? Like if you do target the Dragon Spirit of White and it tributes off for the Blue Eyes from his hand. Oh, it looks like he just has Divine Wrath anyway. He's gonna be able to discard the Stone of Ancients he just added to negate Molu. So, see if a Synchro Summon comes down. Nope, he's gonna use the other effect. He does have another Element Saber in his hand to discard to try and target that Sage again to put it face down, and no response.
I'm a little surprised.
He still faces. Yeah, I think, we especially after seeing the Divine Wrath, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think he has the Blue Eyes in his hand. So.
I mean, yeah, that's the challenge. If he has the Blue Eyes in his hand, you lost. Accept it.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't think it's looking great for Javier, and that was the path to victory.
Yeah, especially because you can't deal with the Dragon Spirit of White. Well, I mean, he still had a flip summon. He would still be able to flip summon the Dragon Spirit of the White, so that's probably something to take note of.
Oh, you're right. It was summoned in the end phase. That explains everything.
I also forgot.
My play would have made no sense at all.
But
although on the first one, though, he actually could have put it face down with the first Molahu, and then after he flip summon, put it face down again with the second.
Right, and then have the monster in attack mode to try to attack over for game. But Alistair is the exact draw he needed to go for Invocation to try and go to Purgatrio and attack for the little damage he needs. If Renan does not have a trap card face down that is reactive, it could be over. Is it a Karma Cut? Is it a Fetus Chain?
We're about to find out, because if it's nothing, it's over.
And then this will put Javier. Right. Is Javier going to take a 2-1 lead? Oh, it looks like he's just going to go ahead and activate the effect of Alistair. Not on the attack, just right now. Interesting.
Going all out. He knows this is it.
Oh, and he has another Invocation. That's why he's doing it. The last card in his hand must be a second copy of Invocation. Yep, there it goes. So now,
correct.
It has to be a backer that can deal with 2 Purgatrios.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah, I don't think it's Stretch or Strap Hole. No, and he already has Ultimate Province in his grave, so it wouldn't be online. Is Javier going to be able to take a 2-1 lead and be 1 game away from having a shot at making the top 4? And it looks like it. He's up 2-1 now, defeating the deck we thought he was going to start with. Oh, man. Not the result I wanted to see exactly because I love Blue Eyes, but big congratulations to Javier, moving 1 game win away from winning this last round of Swiss for the Duel Links Remote Duel Invitational.
That double Purgatrio was just too much for him to get around. And there was a bit of a slow start for the Blue Eyes deck, starting with neither Sage with Eyes of Blue or White Stone Evasion. So that was a bit rough.
Right, we're not able to even go into like a synchro, and letting his opponent be able to set trap cards before he's able to do anything. I mean, he did get the Dragon Spirit of White. It could have gone his way, but as soon as Javier drew the Alistair, it was game over. It was all she wrote from there, because he did have that dead Invocation in his hand, but drawing that one Alistair, all of a sudden he has 2 live Invocations, which is just exactly what he needed. Do you think, so far, Javier hasn't switched off the deck, right? He's played Element Sabers both the first games. Or do you think he was going to run it back for a 3rd time? Or 4th time?
I wouldn't be surprised if he does. Learn from the past, use it to predict the future.
Right, why not? That's the best predictor. Past is the best predictor. And then Renan, he switches deck every time. Oh, let's go ahead and take a look at how everybody else is doing here for round 4, Mike.
We have 2 3-0 sweeps at tables 3 and table 8, where Adrian V defeated Moises M and Patricio M defeated Gracia V. Those are the only matches that are complete.
Yeah, a lot of the duels still underway, a lot on the line here. Only 4 duelists out of the 16 that were invited here to play do advance.
It's stiff competition. Every match counts. Every mistake.
Yeah, every game.
Yeah, every mistake really hurts.
It really does. Every round is a best 3 out of 5, though. So you have a couple chances to maybe you pick the wrong deck one of the rounds. You still have a chance to get back in there and fight, but with so few rounds and cutting to such a small number, every decision is pivotal, for sure. I know I'm excited for this next game. Do you think Renan will be able to push it to a game 5, or is Javier going to get that win he needs?
We'll see. I like that Renan was willing to change things up, so that might get
I hope he sticks with Blue Eyes. If Javier's not going to switch to Blue Eyes, I hope Renan sticks with it again and be like, okay, I drew horrible Blue Eyes, but I was still like right there. You had to use all your cards again. Like, I think I can do this with Blue Eyes. I'm a fan. I hope he sticks with the fan favorite, does it for the fans, does it for the Blue Eyes, does it for Kaiba. But we'll have to wait and see how it all goes down.
Javier did play that match very well. He saw his path to victory, the Invoke Purga Trio, double Invoke Purga Trio, and followed that line, putting the Sage face down. So he certainly knows what he's doing. He's a phenomenal Duel Links player, and that really showed in that duel.
Yeah, really. There was no Palace. Like, yeah, he didn't start with Palace, never drew it. I mean, he had to top deck the Alistair, had a dead Invocation. Like, it really comes down to drawing Alistair or not. That's the biggest key factor. What happened to Blackwings? Where are the Blackwings at? All of a sudden, the past couple of rounds, they've completely disappeared. Rounds 1 and 2, every game was a Blackwings. Round 3 and 4, where are they?
I don't know. Maybe players got tired of using them. Maybe players saw how many people were using them and thought that other players would start predicting they'd be playing against Blackwings, putting in tech cards to defeat it. And it's almost like the metagame shifted throughout the course of the tournament.
Yeah, it really has become a lot of Element Saber. Now that's been the most deck that we've seen. A lot of it's a safe pick. It has a lot of options. Invoke Neos has also been a pretty popular pick. That's been on the rise lately in the metagame, I think, through Duel Links. So it's cool to see that play out here in this Duel Links Invitational.
Agreed.
Yep. Do you think we're gonna see a mirror match? I mean, I know I've been wrong so much about predicting decks. I don't even want to make any more predictions. Oh yeah, I was never gonna predict this. It looks like Renan switched his deck to a burn deck with Shadow Game, with the Merrick Dual Steel Shadow Game that is going to inflict 100 points of damage for each card in your graveyard during your end phase. So he's trying to take advantage of this matchup and not let his... burn decks are usually pretty good against beatdown decks. We'll have to see how good it is against this Invoke Neos deck. Cause a Cyclone. That's huge.
Oh, man.
That's one card.
Paying 1,000 life points early on, not knowing Renan's using a burn deck, that could hurt him. Plus, an extra card in the graveyard means 100 more points of damage each turn from Shadow Game.
Certainly, yep. So it cost 1,100 life points this turn, essentially. So yeah, Switcheroo coming down, switching a card out of his hand. This is the time you want to take advantage is before the burn player can get a lot of card advantage. You want to put as much damage out there as possible, so the Karibos and stuff won't start adding up, so you can't get enough damage and end up losing slowly. But you gotta watch out for cards like Wall Disruption.
This could be bad for Renan, because if he didn't draw well, he could lose this turn.
Yep, but the Floodgate's gonna put the first Brave Neos face down.
That's a great hit for Floodgate Trample.
Dang, the Shell paying the life points down. He's gotta be careful, he has 4 cards in his graveyard. And he's gonna summon, Javier's summoning the Keeper of Dragon Magic. Well, Renan's gonna need a Karibo of some sort to stay in this game. Nope. Just sets 2 cards face down. And Renan's gonna want to stop this attack, yeah. You don't want to take any damage, pretty much. Oh, it's a Kiteroid. Finally, you were saying we hadn't seen it yet.
Yep, there it is. Shadow Game activates in the end phase for 500 more points of damage.
So let's see if Renan's going to be able to put enough defense on the board to protect himself from Javier's next attack, or if Javier's going to be able to win and move on with a victory here in the last round of Swiss. Oh no! Oh. He's going to tribute both his monsters to summon Lava Golem! Now, essentially, Javier only has 1,000 life points left. He's going to have to win this duel quick.
He needs to draw Alistair so that he can use Invocation to get rid of Lava Golem and summon Perfect Trio, or he's going to have to just win. It's going to be hard for him to win, though, with Kiteroid in Renan's graveyard.
Yeah, he's going to have to deal with the face-down card, and deal with the Kiteroid in the graveyard, and still put enough to the other 2 attacks to do 3,800. And it's going to be rough. It's going to be hard. We might see Renan's burn deck taking an easy victory here. I'm going to trigger Switcheroo. Looking for something. Maybe an Alistair?
Yeah, I mean, even if he gets Alistair, the Shadow Game is going to put him on a clock with already 7 cards in his graveyard.
Right. He'll be able to banish 1 card out of his graveyard, and then, so go to 6. because the invocation's gonna go back to his hand, so it'll still stay at 6.
I think he has to get rid of Lava Golem, right?
Oh yeah, so he won't be able to banish the monster out of He has to banish Lava Golem from his field. Yeah, you're right. Unless he has another invocation, then he can do it twice.
Yeah, or if he's just trying to win this turn to keep the Lava Golem attack with it. That's a possibility as well.
It certainly is, yeah. Nope, he is going to banish the Lava Golem. And see if this is going to be met with a Fiendish Chain or a Draining Shield, maybe. Invocation, going to shuffle back into the deck, returning the Alistair from the banish pile to his hand.
Draining Shield would be awesome.
Draining Shield, the OG. Let's see what it is. So he's going to go all the... That's huge in this matchup because he's already close to losing. He just needs to survive for 2 more turns, and the Shadow Game is going to finish him off.
And
Renan showing what he can
700 life points, 100 free cards.
And he still has the Kite-Roid. Yeah, and he has the Kite-Roid in his graveyard still. Man, it looks like Renan might be taking this to a Game 5 here at the last round of Swiss. Yeah, he has 6,000 life points with the Kite-Roid. I don't think Javier can do enough damage, especially if that back row is live.
No way. What if he can't? Yeah. He's just going to concede. He sees that he loses in his own end phase because of Shadow Game.
Well, I guess we just found the hard counter to Element Sabers is a burn deck. They put the Invoke Neos Element Saber deck, put so many cards in the graveyard, and then you're able to stop that one attack, and then they paid 1,000 for the Cosmic, they paid 1,000 for the 2 shells, that's half their life points. The Lava Golem, that's 3,000, and then a couple turns of Shadow Games, and that's all she wrote.
It's been going pretty well for Renan since he started swapping his decks around. You think he's going to continue?
I could see it. Well, I don't know. Now that he's found the hard counter, his opponent hasn't swapped his decks any of the games. So all 4 games he's brought the Invoke Neos deck. So maybe he'll stick with the burn deck, but maybe this will trigger Javier to switch to his Blue Eyes deck that we originally thought he was going to bring. And then the Blue Eyes deck, I feel, has a decent matchup against the burn deck. You can, Dragon Spirit White the back rows, before they can activate them. Stuff like Draining Shield and stuff will be useless. You can make, Spirit and tag out and everything. Like, I just want to see more Blue Eyes action.
I like the way you think.
I mean, I'm as biased reasoning. I'm trying to come up with reasons to switch to Blue Eyes, whether they might be the best reasons to do it, but I'm at least going to give you some reasons to do it. You have Dragon Spirit White.
I think that's a great reason. I think Dragon Spirit White is phenomenal against burn decks.
It really is. You just keep using it. You can use Silver's Cry even to bring the Dragon Spirit White back, tribute it off, Blue Eyes, Synchro with it, Dragon Spirit White, just keep going and then leave them with nothing. And also Dragon Spirit White's another card that's good against cards like Sphere Karibo, Draining Shield, Kite-Roid. You just tribute off the field and still get the attack as long as your opponent has a monster, which might be something kind of hard to expect out of a burn deck. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if Renan's even going to stick with the same Shadow Game deck. That's what's cool about it. It's the Wild West. They can switch to anything. They can play anything. Who knows? Where are the Witchcrafters, though? This is the 4th round of Swiss, and we've seen, over 20, 30 games maybe today, and we've maybe seen 2 games that involved Witchcrafters. That is the biggest surprise of the tournament for me so far, for sure.
100%. I'm especially surprised because they just announced that they were placing a limitation on Witchcrafter Holiday that has not taken effect yet, where it's being added to the limited 3 list, joining Charge of the Light Brigade. But for this weekend's tournament, players can use 3 of each, because it's not in effect yet. So I thought more players would want to take advantage of that fact and use Witchcrafters, but I guess not.
Yeah, I know. That's usually when there's a deck that's so good that they have to do something to like calm it down. I'm using that full power deck, but maybe in the top 4 we'll see more of it. Or maybe in this last game, we'll have to wait and see what the players decide to do. This is going to be the last game of Swiss, because this is round 4, game 5. It all comes down to this. If Javier can somehow win this round, he has a chance to move on to the top 4. We're still waiting to see if they're going to switch their deck list or if they're going to let it rock. There's a lot on the line, so if you have 3 minutes, so if I was Javier, I would be taking this time to think really hard. Like, am I really going to put it all in this Element Saber Invoke deck that even the games he won with it, they weren't like, the deck didn't win it for him. It was more so like, oh, well, I had a 1900 attack monster, I can just keep attacking you. And you didn't really have anything. I had one, like, some traps to stop you, but it's the deck's not really winning it. It's kind of solid. Like, so I'd be kind of weary of going into the last game with this deck in particular.
That is true. The Element Saber Invoke deck is actually more popular this weekend than I expected.
Yeah, certainly. But there's a lot of other players that are playing right now during round 4. Let's see how they're doing. Looks like table 1 is still in progress. Alejandro G versus Rafael.
3 tables total are still in progress. The other 5 have completed their matches. Alejandro G was one of my early players to watch in the tournament, and he is at table 1. So the TCG champion is still in this Duel Links tournament, and it looks like it has a very good shot at making it to the top 4.
Yeah, he's been crushing it. All the way to table 1 means he's 3-0. You know, still has a chance to win this last round with a good shot at making it, yeah, like you said, to that top 4. To show you, like, the TCG does kind of translate into Duel Links, at least more so now than it used to, because a lot of the cards in Duel Links are cards that are played in the TCG right now. Like Karma Cut, that's a card that kind of we see overlap, and Cosmic Cyclone. They're both played in the TCG currently and are very powerful in Duel Links.
Yeah, the biggest adjustment you need to make is to the duelist skill, because there's nothing like those duelist skills in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. So you have to remember that what you see in the deck is not all there is. There's also a skill that has tremendous synergy with the cards you're playing and can completely change how powerful your deck is. It's also important to remember you don't get a main phase 2, because I can't tell you how many times when I first started, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to attack and set 2.
Yeah, exactly. And then
what do you mean by
trap cards in your hand? Yep, but it looks like Game 5 is underway, and it looks like Renan switched to Witchcrafters, those we were talking about. And Javier is going to stick with his Invoked Neos Element Saber. Oh, no, sorry. Invoked Element Saber deck. No Neos. Just Invoked Element Sabers as he's been playing the previous rounds. And let's see how this deck matches up against Witchcrafter. But he does open up with that Palace, which is the ideal opening.
Javier definitely got a good start here.
But I don't know how good this is going to be against Witchcrafter. It's not a lot to disrupt them.
Looks like he actually chose not to activate the effect of Palace of the Elemental Lords because he does not want to skip his next turn's battle phase. But he did activate the card itself so that he could use Molahu's effect on the opponent's turn by sending an Element Saber from his deck to the graveyard instead of from his hand.
Yep, heads up play here from Javier.
Witchcrafter Pator.
Yep. See what he decides to do here with this. We can use the effect.
All the low-level Witchcrafters contribute themselves and send a spell card from the hand to the graveyard to special summon any Witchcrafter from the deck as a quick effect during either player's main phase. So he's going to discard Witchcrafter Collaboration, tribute Pator, and then probably special summon Madame Bear.
Yes.
With the boss monster.
Soon the Madame Bear is coming out. Yeah, and even though you have to discard that Witchcrafter spell to activate their effect, they all do get to add back to the hand at the end phase if you control a face of Witchcrafter. So not much of a cost, actually, to summon your boss monster from your deck, which is why Witchcrafters are so powerful.
Witchcrafter Pator's graveyard effect activates. It banishes itself from the graveyard, allowing Renan to draw a card and then send any Witchcrafter card from his hand to his graveyard.
Yep, essentially a free draw if you're able to send a spell, or you get to send down another monster to have access to another graveyard effect.
And that's exactly what he did. He sends Witchcrafter Shmieta, which you get back from his graveyard, to send any Witchcrafter card from his deck to his graveyard. Perhaps this time putting Witchcrafter Holiday or Witchcrafter Unveiling in there, since he has not yet activated a Witchcrafter spell this turn, which means he can bring back any Witchcrafter spell from his graveyard in the end phase to his hand, as long as he still controls Madame Bear.
Yep, exactly. But there are only 8 minutes left in this round, so time is going to play a factor. Hopefully both these players are aware of that, and they plan their plays accordingly.
Oh, that could be rough, because Witchcrafters, especially when Madame Bear hits the field, usually take a while to win.
Yeah, it's very hard to get over that Madame Bear. It's so huge, can negate anything, and then while she's out there, they keep summoning all their other monsters around her until they can eventually eke out the win.
So Renan does send Holiday to the graveyard, and Javier chooses to use his Molyneux's effect to put the Madame Bear face down. So if Renan does not negate its effect, and doesn't have another Witchcrafter on the field at the end phase, he wouldn't be able to get the spells back. But it looks like he's going to use Madame Bear's effect to discard a spell card, that being the second Holiday, to negate Molyneux's effect so that he can bring back the Holiday and the Collaboration.
Yep, it only negates the effect, doesn't destroy the monster, so the Molyneux gets to stay on the field. And now the end phase is going to be adding back those Witchcrafter spells to his hand. Holiday and Collaboration.
It was a good move to negate the effect of Molyneux because he essentially created one Witchcrafter spell card for 2, including one of the same one he discarded.
While thinning his deck out from a monster he probably doesn't want to draw and trying to get access to a card that's going to help him deal with this Madam.
For sure.
So let's see how Javier is going to navigate this. This is the hard part. It's only one monster, but man, is that monster good.
He's going to use the Palace of the Elemental Wards this turn. So he gets to get any Element Saver from his deck added to your hand, and he has to skip next turn's battle phase. So he gets a battle phase this turn, but I don't know how much that's going to do for him because... Oh, Karma Cut!
Oh, that's huge.
That's brutal. The Witchcrafter deck is vulnerable to cards that can destroy or banish Madame Bear, because Madame Bear has no protection against trap cards or spell cards. It can only negate monster effect. So that Karma Cut might actually end the duel.
He has enough on board. This could be huge. Just having the right out right away, Javier could easily. He did it. As long as I'm pretty sure it's gonna go through. I didn't see a trigger, and Javier's gonna move on. There's a chance for top 4. Oh, yep, that's it.
That's it.
And Renan loses.
Karma Cut.
Well, I hyped up all these Witchcrafters, and then I found out that's why maybe they're not so popular, because just one Karma Cut can end it just like that. Big congratulations to Javier. He knew he needed to win to have a shot at even making his top 4, and he got there. Fantastic duels. He stuck with the same deck 5 games in a row and just, let it rock. He changed it up a little bit. We saw him put in the Changes Appearance one of those games, which was huge and devastating. But a great match. Good way to end off Swiss for us here today.
That was a great match and an important win for Javier because he still has a shot at the top 4 with his 2-1-1 record. He's going to need to get a little bit lucky with his tiebreakers and see how all the other chips fall. But fingers crossed for him, he might still get there.
Yeah, certainly he has a shot. Hope for the best, but that is the end of Swiss for round 4. Stick around, we're going to have more awesome Yu-Gi-Oh! Remote Duel Links action. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon for top 4 of the Duel Links Invitational.